Hi! So, if you're here to watch me talk about my personal experience and how I built my self worth and value, you're welcome. I hope you gain something or just here for fun to hear chit chat, spend some time with me. I try to, speak truth. I don't try, I speak truth. Because I base everything on my own experience. Okay, if there's anything else that I can tell you that I know about but I haven't experienced, I'll let you know. But I take pride in telling you things that are authentic to me, because then I can prove and I can show you how I did it, and I know that it is proving to work. That's why I base things on myself and I use me as an example. So don't think that I'm here trying to glow or boast about anything that I've experienced. No. In fact, it's very difficult for me to use myself as a sacrificial lamb. But I don't know why. That's my process. That's how I want to do it. That's how I want to be of help, by using myself as an example. Alright? Because that's what I can speak about honestly and be truthful. Okay? Because for some reason I value honesty and truth and authenticity above a whole lot. It is the reason why I'm awoken, because I wanted the truth out of the chaff, the bogus information. I didn't want to be confused by he said, she said, and this book said that. No, I wanted to experience. That's why I literally sacrificed money, time, fun, all friendship, people, all kinds of stuff, so I can sit there and meditate twice a day. Alright? Straight up. So I can open up, so I can know what I'm doing and be in charge of this vessel. Okay? So, I'm here to talk about what I wrote everything down. All of a sudden, I can't see you. So it happens when you start getting tired. So, okay, this is the beginning. What is self-worth? Let's try to define that. Right on the top of my dome, what I feel self-worth is, which is all connected to the Taurus season, the Taurus full moon. Alright, because Taurus is really about self-worth and value. It's part of the energies of the season. That's why I'm talking about it. I feel like self-worth can easily be also said, what are you worth? Who are you? What are you made of? Okay? What contributions do you have to yourself and to others? What is so unique about you? What is the importance that you play in this life and in the life of others, in the universe at large? What is your worth? It's beyond you, because whatever you're doing is affecting everybody around you, right? So what is your self-worth? How did I develop that? First off, I had to start realizing that what and how I was raised, whatever situation that I found myself in, mostly negative, doesn't define my worth. You understand? So my mistakes or whatever situations I found myself in growing up was not my worth, and it was not the be all end all. There was a new day coming every day, and I always had an opportunity to do what? To rewrite that narrative, to learn from it and move forward boldly, alright, with a vision. So the process that I went through was to basically analyze my childhood and how it affected the way I felt about myself. Okay, what made me happy, what made me sad, what caused me to behave a certain way that I knew that was harmful to me. Because one thing that you have to be able to say to yourself when you're working on your self-worth is truly a healing path. But what you have to be able to say, there's some questions that I started to ask myself. Am I a blessing or distraction or filling up space? Am I a blessing, distraction, or I'm filling up space? What am I here to do? Who am I? Why did I come here? What is the purpose of my life? What's important to me that if I die today, I would not regret? Or if I'm in a sick bed and I'm about to die, or something bad is happening to me, what would be that thing that I really wanted to do that I never did? What is that thing? What is that importance? What is that? What is that thing that is so important to me? And how will I attain all this and develop it? Definitely, what is my north node, which is my destiny path, so that I can really step into it. I also ask myself if there's truly a spiritual essence in me and I'm a divine being or a child of God at that time. That's what I said. If I'm really a child of God, then I am not different from God. I am some aspect of God, right? Or even almost like him. Jesus said you were like him. At that time I was in the Bible, so I said, oh, if I'm like Jesus and I can do what Jesus did, then I'm special. How do I find that divinity in myself? It is in the Bible. Okay, how do I find that? Because crabs don't give birth to birds. Alright, so if there is a creator and the creator said that they created us in their own image, then they are also beings in some sense. Okay, and so you have divinity in you just like divine is. So what is that and how do I tap into that? Because to me that was the highest form of me finding self-worth and value. Alright, but before I could get there I had to go through the bottom. The bottom is dealing with all the stuff that I wasn't proud of. So I asked myself, what is it that I'm embarrassed of that I do that doesn't make me feel so good about myself? It was a lot of questions and answering, and I had to answer it. Some of them I was answering crying and wailing and feeling bad and not eating for days, but I answered them honestly because I knew that if I answered those questions, it will, put me on the right path. And I didn't do all this at once. I did this over years, sporadically, until I went through a serious spiritual awakening that kind of like gave me a nice like icing on the cake for like a 12 months straight. It was a slow process over years, over the years. So that was one of the biggest things. What is it that about me? What is about me, right? That really embarrasses me, that I don't want anybody to know about me because I feel ashamed that I do that. So I figured that out and I worked on it. Okay? I don't need to express all those things. I just need to show you the questions to ask and the process. So it's a lot of questioning and answering, which means that I did a lot of healing and introspection, thinking about things alone, in quietness, not partying, drinking with my friends. When my friends was doing that or people were out there living life, I was spending a lot of time alone, introspecting, meditating on stuff, and trying to solve my own problems most of the time. I also knew one thing, that all the things that I wanted to accomplish held the keys to my self-worth. And I also knew that I had to know exactly what makes me happy, what sets my soul on fire. And when I tap into that, it will boost my courage. It will boost my self-worth and confidence in myself. And once I do those things, it will naturally put me in that place where I trust and believe in myself. And when I trust and believe and have courage in myself, I have naturally built my own personal self-worth. Because once I figured out what I really loved, what I didn't like, that I was embarrassed with, and started to work on those things, okay, it helped me to develop respect for myself. I believed that education was the doorway. I had to educate myself. I really had to work harder on my concepts on building wealth, because I grew up in a family that was wealthy, but then was not. So things flopped from wealth to poverty, okay? And with that change, I experienced both sides of the coin, okay? And that really got me confused. With that in the midst, besides that, I also grew up in a family where we were being taught by the Bible that you shouldn't be seeking so much worldly things, and going after money was not the greatest thing to do. You should seek the kingdom of God first before you worry about all the wealth and all that. But wealth was one of those things that I was definitely confused about. Now that's one thing that I can talk about today, because definitely we're dealing with Taurus. So I never really had the zest to focus on that so much. So for me, most of my life was based on my character building and all the stuff I just talked about. And I felt like once I got my character, all right, in check, understood my personality, who I am, and all the things I've just said, working through healing traumas of my childhood and things that shaped me but was not, truly who I was, I could focus on the financial aspect, okay, of my self-worth. Because self-worth is also connected to your wealth. Your money matters. Because once you don't have money, it makes you feel down. That is true to everybody. Nobody is okay when they don't have money. I'm not talking about like you having money to pay your bills and stuff. I'm talking about being broke to brokedy. Okay, broke to the bone. Okay, that kind of broke where you don't know what you're gonna eat next. Nobody wants to live with that. And some people cannot even live with the fact that they can only pay their bills and they don't have extra for anything. That is still a form of being broke. Okay, so that was also something that I had to connect the money to my self-worth. After dealing with all of the other stuff I talked about, that was all about character building. Especially when it came to the fact that I was working on my divine essence, I knew that I had to polish up on all the queens in me. Communication skills, mental skills, my intellectual skills had to be propped up. I had to work on that. I had to work on my feminine skills at home, cooking, polishing, cleaning, polishing my home skills, all that stuff, nurturing, motherhood, all that. I had to work on things that I was not good at. I fixed those things. I knew where I fell short, and I stepped up on it. To me, every woman should know how to do all those things. Okay, that's my opinion. If you really want to call yourself the Empress or Divine Feminine, you have to master all the skills of different aspects of being a woman. Okay, and that goes for men too. You have to master all the aspects of being a man. All right, I had to get my money together, so it was a requirement to my self-worth and to my divinity, because my divinity would not be attained if I didn't have self-worth, self-value, and self-respect. It is the pathway. So how do you get there? You take care of yourself. You make sure that you can provide for yourself. You take care of your money matters, because how are you going to look okay? How are you going to eat healthy? How are you going to take care of your health? How are you going to do all that stuff? It's a necessity, it's a need. You cannot settle for less when you need stuff or want stuff and don't have it. And a lot of times when you never get what you want, you really have become less of yourself. If you never get what you want and you always settle for what you need, you have poverty mindset. That's what that is. Okay? And self-worth will not be built on poverty mindset. Self-worth is built on the idea that everybody's entitled to abundance, because it's your birthright to not live in lack. It's your birthright as a human being to come here to get life, your fair share of blessings of wealth and abundance, because once you are in that energy, you can accomplish a bit, you can feel good, feel free, and not feel restrained and trapped into this planet. Okay, so in order for you to elevate into any authority energy, into any empress, any divine entity, any self-worth, you need to work on those fundamentals. It is the prerequisite and the foundation to your self-worth. That is why Taurus talks about self-worth, money, and possessions. It is needed. It's a need. Because if you go, which is what I did, I went all the way to my spiritual essence before I came down to come and work on my wealth. What if I had done the material aspect and then climbed up? I would have never had to come back down to come and work on that and then bring myself back into balance again. It's like going backwards. So I know that that's what I was taught. So I had to deconstruct that mental block that was put in me as I was growing up, right? That seek ye first the kingdom of God and the rest to be given. It is true to a point, but you cannot build on a faulty foundation. You cannot build on an empty stomach. Trust me, you cannot meditate very well when you are starving really strongly. Yes, it's different when you're fasting. It's a different path. But if you are starving, I'm talking about serious business here. If you're worrying about your financial security and all, you wouldn't have the peace of mind to sit down to meditate and connect with your higher self. It will distract you constantly. So I was strong enough. Well, I never really lacked like that, so that I couldn't sit down and meditate. Okay, so we thank Divine for that. Okay, so it was never that bad where, I couldn't focus on growing myself spiritually. But in a way, I settled for being okay so I can focus on my spiritual growth. So you do need to take care of the fundamentals, because even in the chakras, the first one, which is connected to the earth chakra, is pertaining to your family matters, money, stability, home life. Because once your foundation is correct in that aspect, you feel comfortable in your skin, in yourself, build your wealth, your wealth and your worth, and then all the other chakras will align well. You'll be able to build on your desires when you have the fundamental finances. You'll be able to work on your sacral chakra, which is your desires, and then you can move into your master solar plexus, which is you becoming a master of your talents, your mind, and whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. That is the solar plexus. That's your sun. That's your willpower. That's your strength. That's your confidence. That's how you go after what you want. Majority of people only work on the 3 chakras. Alright? Few tap into the heart chakra because they fall in love. Okay? But majority of people's focus is, I want my money, I want my love, desires, my sex, my marriage, and I want to accomplish my goals in life. Okay? I want to become my own boss. I want to work hard, blah, blah. Those are all physical, human manifestations. Once you start tapping into the heart chakra, which is about matters of the heart, right? Deeper love, higher love, divine love for self and others, not just romance, self and others, which is in the heart chakra, it starts to open up the higher chakras, okay? Because the heart is the seat of the soul. That is the connection. That is where your spirit or your higher energies, divine essence, joins with the lower aspect of yourself, which is the devil and God, the God essence, the devil essence, which is all in you. Your lower self, which is more humanistic, imperfect self, with your perfection, so-called perfection, okay? Because perfection in spirituality is not the type of perfection you're talking about. That is where it connects to your higher self, your divine essence, your mental energy. So from here going, then you're tapping into divine and going up in the higher chakras, right? Which is what? Your third eye chakra, your spiritual center, and your crown center, which is beyond the physical, is the crown. That's why you're able to channel things there, right? So before you go into the higher self, you deal with that. Average person deals with this. Don't go past this. That's why everybody will say sex sells money. It's all about, if you pay attention to our world, sex and money and ambitions and goals. That's the main energy, because it is all lower and human, physical. Once we start talking about divine love and humanity and going into thinking beyond the physical and, you know, using your voice to elevate people and tapping into communication with your divine essence and the world outside of yourself, going into that energy, talking to your ancestors, talking to your soul sister, your soul family, and going deep into the astrals and the beyond higher dimensions, which is your soul, your own divinity, and above that, the divine essence, the gods, the angels, all of the plants, animal, becoming one with everything, the whole universe, and even the other forms of life, which is alien forms of life and everything else. Then you are falling into even more deeper, right, and gaining authority over your self-worth. So now, not only do you know your self-worth and are in charge of it and practice it, now you are in charge of it. You start to control what you think your self-worth should be. So once you become in charge, you become authority over that. And you do that, you build that slowly. It's a process, right? And once you start to respect yourself because you've elevated and gone through your own initiations, that's another one myth I'm going to break for you. Everybody can be a priest or a priestess. Everybody can get initiation, self-initiation. You don't need to go through a shaman, a spiritualist. You can do that, but you don't really need to, because I didn't do it. I didn't go and see any spiritual guru or anybody to give me my initiations when I got there. The process, once you start meditating and you start tapping into your intuition and growing, developing your skills, the process will start opening. The chakras will open, and the process, every stage of your spiritual ascension, that all ties into your self-worth, would happen spontaneously as you grow spiritually. Some over different lifetimes. I mean, it's not all probably going to happen in this lifetime. Obviously not. It's not, because I've talked to you guys about different lifetimes, life path numbers, and what it means why you are here. So there's stages to this. You get to a stage, your initiation will happen astrally, spiritually. You see yourself go through it. You will see it in your dreams. You will see it on the energetic level that you've shifted, upgraded in your self-worth. Self-worth is all connected to your divinity. It's also connected to your physical upgrade in who you are, building of character. That is when you start to realize that, you know, what is important. Is it your wealth or your respect and character? Let me say this. It's going to be quick and funny. There is nothing more disgusting than a wealthy person that has a horrible attitude, a snobbish, horrible behavior. People can't talk to you without feeling like crap. Nobody wants your money at that point. And there's nothing more sad than a highly intelligent, developed spiritual being in their essence who lacks the fundamental, things in life. Like, you can't be that super highly intelligent, highly divine and still have serious material lack, to the point that you are disgraced by it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the fact that you have clothes on your back. I'm talking about the one that is embarrassing to talk about. And I've seen spiritual people like that. All right, I've seen at least 3, maybe. Okay, that I could emphatically say that it's not worth it. You can't be this highly divine and neglect your personal needs, where your nails look like you've been picking food from the floor. I have a problem with that. And character building has a lot to do with neatness too. I'm not just talking about, you knowing how to act. If you can wash your fingers well, take care of yourself, be clean, and like, watch who you sleep with and who you mingle with, and you understand what I'm saying. Those things are all part of character building. Your pants got holes in it, it's dry. No, you cannot be comfortable with that. You cannot uplift anybody, teach anybody anything about what divinity is, higher self is, however you want to call it, tap into, anything other than physicality, when you look like you were sleeping outside. It is part of your divinity to look divine, to feel divine, to smell divine. You have to glow in it in all the ways. So my self-worth and self-value was built slowly, starting with healing and solving what I don't like. And I'm not saying I took away all my darkness and my demons in me, because we all have darkness and negative aspects to us. But what it is that you figure out what it is, you minimize it, and then when you are in your authority, you are in charge of it. So you know when you're doing it, and then you start to what? Caution yourself, because the devil is not leaving God, and God is not leaving the devil. I'm talking in a different term here. You have to understand me beyond what I'm saying. There is no night without day. There is no good without bad. It exists. So the truth is balance. Your self-worth is based on your ability to be able to hang in the balance and not fall on either way side to the extreme where you are out of balance. And once you're out of balance, everything is whack. It's like a lumpy clay pot. You see what I mean? It doesn't work. Okay? That is why even in meditation, when I was developing my spiritual skills, I over meditated. I'll meditate more than 3 times a day. You know what that made me? I was always sleepy. I was sleeping. And you know what happens when you eat and sleep? You gain weight. So I would sleep all day because my mind was dull, was like it was overworking itself to the point that I needed a lot of rest. And that means that everything else on the physical plane was not that important. So I was out of balance at that time. So even meditation, and then you have the prayer warriors, every day, Jesus, and then Mary, and then screaming and jumping around like a chicken with a hair cut off. Listen, praying and yelling at any divine entity is not the way to go. I don't care what you think you're doing, what ghost caught you. Tone it down and do it less. So whooping and hollering to the gods, to God, since it's religious in this aspect, or whatever, it's not going to solve the problem. Praying 300 times a day is not going to solve it either. Remember, divine is not deaf. You don't have to repeat the same prayer. So too much of everything is bad. Some people can't even, it's bad. Okay? Too much of everything is bad. Just like if you read too much and you study too much, your brain will crack on you and you can't function well. Everything in extreme is bad. So yeah, definitely it's all about moderation. No need to be yelling and all that stuff. And literally, it all ties down. And I want to kind of bring this talking to an end here because I can sit here all day. And so I'm going to wrap up this. Obviously, this is not all that it takes, but I've tried to remember as much as I can and jotted down a few things. So I'm going to wrap it up. And, the way I see it is that it boils down to you developing who you are, right? But it's about the true, authentic you. If you cannot be truthful to yourself and live in your truth, in your true authenticity, then you don't know what your self-respect is, and you cannot never develop all of your worth and value so that you can have an impact on your life, people around you, and the universe at large. Because don't forget that once you start living in that truth, in that authentic you, which is your divine essence and your physical essence, being in that authority and being in charge of that, you are elevating the universe at large. When you are a being of light, a being of, an example, when you're an example and you live in truth, you change the people around you naturally without speaking, because people like to hear, but people actually watch more. So it goes down to that saying, show me who you are, don't tell me who you are. People watch who you are more than you think. So if your vibration, your energy is not in alignment and is filled with fakeness because of what you're saying or even wearing, bringing fashion in and all that, is not in alignment, you're not fooling anybody. Quickly you fall on your face. Quickly you'll be looked down on. Quickly you lose respect because your character and everything within you that brings you worth, respect, self-respect, understanding and knowing who you are is what is going to shine through in the long run. Okay, you may get away with a lot, but at the end of the day, people have to be able to see through you, and they will. Your light will shine, your inner glow, authentic self will shine, and that is to me where the true, self-worth lies. Okay, yes, there's an element of beauty, and you can use your physical stuff to also create that self-worth. But like I said, everything has to work from inside out. So just like you physically clean, dress, put on the best clothing to emanate who you are, change your vibration, manifest whatever, all that I've been talking about on this channel, beauty of your mind, beauty of your body, and beauty of your soul has to be in alignment, which is intellectual growth, soul growth, and body growth in health and also in physical. All right. But spiritually, you also need to cleanse your energy. You need to cleanse your body, your energetic field by doing spiritual practices that allow you to cleanse other energies that don't need to be around you, because you pick up everybody's energy when you go around them, when you're open. So all of these things are important to your own growth, to your own self-worth. Knowing, knowledge, informing yourself, all right, of things that will help you to step into your full essence and growth is all needed, all right, to develop your self-worth and value. So I'm having a little bit of time constraint here. I'm kind of tired, so I'm going to wrap up all of this, all right, and end this video here. And hopefully, if an opportunity comes, I can always do a part 2, part 3, or whatever of this video. So yeah, this is a little bit of information of how I developed my self-worth and self-value, right? And definitely, I'm gonna end it here with all the love. All right, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed, spending this time with you guys. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me. I will talk to you all later. Thank you so much, and bye.